it's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up, just hold on tight. It'll be alright.
You said it was the last time, but you keep coming back to tell me sorry that you take back all the things you said just to hurt me. Our love just went cold, but I'm still burning. Our love just went cold. Why? I keep on making the same mistake. I always let you back in. When I begin to get myself together again, you are back once more like everything's the same. I tried to build my walls up, but you're taking them down. It's tearing me apart, I can't pretend. Now I have to get over you again. You said it was the last time, but you keep coming back to show me sorry you have changed now. But it's the same old story. Our love just went cold, but I'm still burning. Our love just went cold. Why? I keep on making the same mistake. I always let you back in. When I begin to get myself together again, you are back once more like everything's the same. I tried to build my walls up, but you're taking them down. It's tearing me apart, I can't pretend. Now I have to get over you again. Have to get over you again. Have to get over you. I keep on making the same mistake. I always let you back in. When I begin to get myself together again, you are back once more like everything's the same. I tried to build my walls up, but you're taking them down. It's tearing me apart, I can't pretend. Now I have to get over you again. Have to get over you again.
Thought I was losing who I call myself today in this world of illusion.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you. Welcome to the JNC Coffee Morning Show. I am your host, Brad. And thank you so much for joining me here on YouTube, Facebook, and JNC Radio via the Live365 app. Always a pleasure to hang with you guys in the morning, especially at the top of the week. Hope everybody enjoyed their weekend, did something fun and interesting, maybe learned something new, or maybe just kicked back and relaxed and, a little self-care, as they say. But yeah, as for me, I'm happy to be here. It was a fun weekend, a busy one. We did a lot of working, but that's all right. Sometimes you got to work. I do a lot of playing. Sometimes you got to balance that out. Some good old-fashioned hard work, if that's what I want to call it, really. But it is a beautiful day out there so far. Nice blue skies. I don't know how long that's going to last because this morning the temperatures are in the mid to upper 70s. Only a slim chance for an isolated shower, but as the afternoon progresses, the highs will get into the low to mid 90s with showers and storms developing for the early afternoon, then mainly pushing west throughout the day. Tonight, temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s under partly cloudy skies, so it'll clear up hopefully by the evening time. Saying hey to everybody tuning in there. Philip said, I may not be too active this week on here, but I'll be listening for sure. Just two of them in the dispatch there. Talking about hard work. They're putting you to work this week, Philip. And Paul and Pam, thank you guys for tuning in so early. I really appreciate it. Anybody over on Facebook yet? If you are, come over to YouTube. The link's right there in the comments. Just pop over and join us over there. It's always more fun. We got some national days today. We'll jump into those while we're chatting. First on here is National Boss/Employee Exchange Day. Each year on the Monday following Labor Day, National Boss Employee Exchange Day offers an opportunity to see how the other half of a business works. While bosses and employees often have brainstorming sessions, exchanging positions provides insight into the business. When done with planning and communication, the exchange can lead to successful business solutions. Employees gain confidence and leadership skills. Another benefit from the role reversal includes the added respect or improvements to workflows. Comparing notes following the exchange will be a vital part of the process, of course. Additionally, those discussions should be in the spirit of the day. Take advantage of the knowledge gained and present ideas that will advance the business. Most bosses have many employees, so one way to execute this experience is by having team members nominate one person to swap places with the boss. Not only does this afford a respected member of the team an opportunity to bring feedback to the group, but it also places the boss squarely on the team. The hands-on experience will provide a good leader with insight normally overlooked. I agree with this, and I'm not by any means saying this is a blanket statement. There are many bosses that know how to get in the trenches and pull their fair share of work. But there are some that have a little bit of a disconnect, where they're not necessarily sure how their employees actually do their jobs, and that could cause some problems, as you can imagine. So perhaps in those situations, this is a pretty good idea to get down there and roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty and learn how the other half lives. But on the contrary, I think sometimes employees really don't know the pressure that sometimes the bosses are under. So when they get to switch that role, they get to see just how intimidating some of those responsibilities can be as well. For instance, I switch places with my boss all the time. It's a rough job. Somebody's got to do it. But my boss is very good looking. It's National Chocolate Milkshake Day. I'm thinking might be good, or might be due for a trip to McDonald's today to celebrate this. Of course, National Chocolate Milkshake Day on September 12th brings chocolate and ice cream lovers together. Forget the calories just for one day and enjoy a sweet, tall, thick, and delicious chocolate milkshake. Do you know the term milkshake first appeared in print in 1885? During this period, a milkshake is referred to as an alcoholic beverage, described as a sturdy, healthful eggnog type of drink, blended with eggs, whiskey, and other ingredients. Pharmacies served the drink as a tonic and to treat customers. By the 1900s, pharmacies offered this wholesome drink either with chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla syrup. Not bad, huh? Get out there and enjoy a chocolate milkshake today. Today is also National Day of Encouragement Day. Recognizes the National Day of Encouragement each year on September 12th. This day is dedicated to uplifting people around us and making a positive impact. Encouragement is free. It never costs us anything to say a few words to inspire a student, coworker, or friend. Even a reassuring word to a stranger may make a difference in their lives. Encouragement lifts someone when they are down. It also motivates a person who has an eye on a goal. When we fail, the right words remind us to keep trying. And the right message may create a spark that changes a loved one's perspective. Sometimes the act of noticing a job well done can improve someone's day. Developing a habit of recognizing emerging talents motivates us to speak up and offer a kind word or a helpful tip. It's a practice worth having to improve relationships at home, work, and the world around us. There really is no simpler way. And today's the day to celebrate that. So get out there and tell somebody they're doing great. All of you out there, you're doing great. I love you. Speaking of encouragement, it's National Hug and High Five Day. What makes you feel better than a hug and a high five? It's true. And they're also free. We celebrate a job well done, an accomplishment, or meeting a goal. High fives among our friends and peers make the milestone even sweeter. And the hug, well, the hug is that little bit extra. That solid human contact that says more than words ever could. High fives and hugs also act as encouragement on our journeys. We struggle to reach our objectives and understand our purpose. Life throws obstacles in our way, and we can't always see what's on the other side of the mountain. But along the way, friends and even strangers sustain us with their support. And it comes in many forms, but often it comes in a wealth of hugs and high fives. I love that. This is now my favorite day. All day. For you gamers out there, today is National Video Games Day. Video game players across the U.S. enjoying this day with much enthusiasm. In their very earliest days, video games have been a blend of art, form, and industry. On July 25th, 1983, Walter Day, in the Twin Galaxies Intergalactic Scoreboard out of Ottumwa, Iowa, founded the first United States national video game team. Their early games used interactive electronic devices with various display formats. Thomas Goldsmith Jr. and Ethel Ray Mann filed for the first patent for an interactive electronic device in 1947. Can you believe that? It was called the cathode ray tube amusement device. I was never a big gamer. I enjoy them. I appreciate them. And I was never really into it, you know. It was never, certainly never sitting by myself and playing. It'd be one thing if I had friends over, or, you know, back in the day we had LAN parties. You're old enough to remember that. The days before Wi-Fi, high-speed internet. National Video Game Day. I think I'm missing one here. No, I think that's it. And, of course, if I'm ever missing a national day, please remind me in the chats and comments. Of course, the JNC Lounge line is open at 772-888-1596, and you can berate me with your voice. I'd love that. And wherever you're listening, if you could do me a huge solid and hit the subscribe button or the like button, that would be dope. Amazing. Yeah, my weekend was pretty busy. Friday night, I played at Hop Life Brewing, coming right on the heels of having them on as our guests on the Jams and Cocktails podcast. And that was a great time. We learned so much about them. And then getting to go play. And, of course, the staff there is amazing. It was a really nice crowd on Friday night. I had some good friends that came out. This whole weekend has been a weekend of friends. Just to lay that out there, I'll tell you as we move forward. But man, almost every show that I played, I had friends. It was wonderful. So I appreciate all of you coming out the show. But yeah, Hop Life was great. It was a little sketched, touch and go in the weather, but it cleared up just in time to start the show, and it was wonderful. It was a great night. Of course, got up crack of dawn Saturday to go play the farmers market in Vero Beach. That was a good time. It was hot though. Really hot. But I saw two good friends, my friend Terry Dobson, a fellow musician extraordinaire, and Scott Benj made a little cameo appearance. He was performing at Sailfish Tap House there in Vero Beach, which is just around the corner from the farmers market. So he came over and said, hey. So it was nice to see some friends out of town for me. And then Saturday night I played at the Island Beach Bar over on Hutchinson Island. Of course, that's where Jordan's sister, Savannah, bartends, and that's always a good time. We're at a cool spot. It's kind of tucked back in a private neighborhood, but the bar is open to the public. You just have to tell the guy you're going to the bar. And it was a nice time. It was a nice time. And then Sunday, of course, I myself played at Sailfish Brewing in Fort Pierce. It was nice. The weather held out. It looked ominous almost all day, but it held out. It was wonderful. And some friends came out to that show as well. So overall, a nice weekend. But my work week isn't over. Tonight I'll be at the Blue Point Bar and Grill down in Tequesta, tucked back in the Jupiter Marina. From 6 to 9 tonight. Weather permitting, of course. That's a fun place to play, too. A little bit of a weird load-in. You're going to drive all around the marina to get back there, and everybody gives you dirty looks while they're trying to move boats around and all. But, yeah, what are you going to do? Oh, Pam says she loves my hat. Tropically impaired, baby. Got to kick off the morning right there, Monday morning, being tropically impaired. It's a great brand owned by friends. So if they have a great apparel line, it's awesome. So check it out, tropicallyimpaired.com. And in fact, they do all of Blue Point's T-shirts. They partnered together to do T-shirts. They're really cool. I'm trying to think of another brand that might do something similar, but it's all little like cartoon pelicans and such, and I don't know. I'm doing a terrible job of selling it. They should not hire me to be their salespeople. But check it out, tropicallyimpaired.com, and you can see all the stuff that they have to offer. They're awesome. And it's a local brand, so support local, our local anyway. Philip, so Jim's on vacation. Sometimes you got to go on vacation, We pick up the slack for our friends, so the hopes that they pick up the slack for us when we decide we need to haul off and go somewhere. All right. We're going to take a quick music break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you what happens in your brain while you sleep. I know that's a question that's always on your mind. But you're listening to Jams and Coffee here in the morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be right back.
I thought I knew the way, but boy was I wrong. It came to me after the rain, glowing in the morning sun. Any time out on the prowl with just one look, I could tell what was on her mind. She keeps the time, hold on me. Takes control with both hands on the wheel. She's been here 1,000 times, but tonight's the night she caught my eye. Well, mature, yeah, fine red wine, she's a looker. Every young man's fantasy, yeah, she makes a bad boy out of me. Doing things that I never seen, she's a cougar. Oh, she makes me see. No need to talk at all. And she's a fan of rock and roll. She knows all the words, but she sings to me in a different way. Show that'll rock your world. She keeps the time, hold on me. Takes control with both hands on the wheel. Sure, yeah, fine red wine, she's a looker. Every young man's fantasy, yeah, she makes a bad boy out of me. Doing things that I never seen, she's a cougar. Oh, she makes me see.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show.
All right, you guys, I am back. I forgot to hit the microphone button. It's typical. It's typical of me. First, especially early in the morning. We are back here listening to Jams and Coffee here in the morning. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, and JNC Radio on the Live365 app. I am watching the chats and comments, So be sure to chime in with anything that you'd like. And, of course, the lounge line is open 772-888-1596, and it gets you on the air. Before the break, I was going to tell you what happens in your brain while you sleep. And I know that we get up every morning, we look at ourselves in the mirror, and we say, oh, I wonder what happens in my brain while I sleep. Well, I'm going to tell you. Truth be told, our brains are complex and elaborate. They contain billions of neurons. They don't fully form until we reach age 25 and can generate around 25 watts of power, and that's enough to illuminate a light bulb. Scientists are constantly learning new information about how the brain functions, and what we do know about how this incredible organ operates during sleep. Is it a total mystery, or are there some things that we know for sure? Well, for one, we know it's important. Every animal on this planet knows, or every animal on this planet that we've observed carefully has been shown to sleep. Even fruit flies, roundworms, and jellyfish. That's according to David Raisin, an associate professor of neurology at the University of Pennsylvania. Hence, sleep must be serving a very important function, which has led to its persistence throughout evolution. It's especially noteworthy because sleep incurs costs. Raisin added, he said, animals are vulnerable to predation during sleep, and they're not productive. They don't forage for food. They don't reproduce. Research has found that we spend 1/3 of our lives asleep or attempting to sleep. That means if you live to age 76, which is the average life expectancy in the U.S., you'll likely spend around 25 years of your life sleeping. That's horrific. And wonderful. I don't know. I love sleeping. When we don't sleep well or often enough, we function poorly. Adding that a person's ability to think and operate effectively can be evident if sleep, see, that's happening here. I guess I didn't sleep well. It could be effective or evident if sleep is disrupted even for one night. Truth be told, I might have to scale up the font on this, on this article, because that's how things are going today. Pardon me a moment while I do that. Oh, these old oh my God, that's so much better. Isn't that incredible? Forgive me. Where was I? Since the largest deficits of sleep deprivation are experienced by the brain, we think the brain is the main organ affected in human sleep deprivation. According to Raisin, sleep, therefore, must be very important to healthy brain function. Now, according to the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, there are two basic types of sleep: rapid eye movement sleep and non-REM sleep. They're both associated with particular types of brain waves and specific neuronal activity. Non-REM sleep occurs as we move from being awake to being asleep. It's a time when our brain waves slow down. At the same time, our muscles start to relax and breathing becomes slower than it is typically throughout the day. REM sleep, on the other hand, sees brainwave activity operate at a level very similar to wakefulness. Research has found that REM sleep constitutes between 20% and 25% of our sleeping time, and is when our dreams tend to be most bizarre and implausible. During REM sleep, which is when dreams are most active, the thalamus, which of course is a large, massive gray matter found in the middle of the brain, sends images, sounds, and other sensations that fill our dreams. The neurotransmitter acetylcholine. That's how I'm saying it. I'm sticking to it. That's a chemical that spikes during waking hours, but it's also strong during REM sleep. According to Johns Hopkins Medicine, when you're awake, acetylcholine appears to help the brain keep information gathered and is likely and it likely helps you remember this information while you sleep. That's why studying just before bedtime and then sleeping on it can help you remember key facts the next day. As we fall asleep, our brains experience a pattern of brain waves known as spine spindles. Fun word. Which, according to the Sleep Foundation, are not fully understood, but are thought to play a role in learning and integrating new memories. Spine spindles may also play a role in ensuring we remain asleep even when our brains encounter outside stimuli. During sleep, the brain even washes itself in a juicy blend of cerebrospinal fluid and blood. That's according to the journal Science back in 2019. Understanding the nature of this wash cycle could help uncover new information about age-related impairments, as well as a variety of neurological and psychological disorders that are frequently associated with disrupted sleep patterns, including autism and Alzheimer's disease. Our brain keeps us alive when we're both asleep and awake. But according to Mr. Raisin, there are certain things that the brain prefers to do after we drift off. He said there are some brain processes that are observed to preferentially occur during sleep. These include the secretion of growth hormone in humans, the clearance of waste metabolites that build up during waking hours, changes in metabolism, and changes in the strength of communication between brain cells. 2017, a study in the journal Nature Medicine found that sleep deprivation disrupts brain cells' ability to communicate with each other, which leads to temporary mental lapses and affect memory and visual perception, according to a statement. The study's lead author, Dr. Freed, a professor in residence and director of the epilepsy surgery program at the University of California, noted that starving the body of sleep also robs neurons the ability to function properly. And it's a point supported by NINS, which says quality sleep is essential as survival, or is essential to survival as food and water. Without sleep, you can't form or maintain the pathways in your brain that let you learn and create new memories. And it's harder to concentrate and respond quickly. Although it's clear there's a link between poor sleep and certain negative health outcomes, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity, depression, just to name a few, Mr. Raisin said that some mystery remains around the nature of the relationship, and that it would be unwise to draw definitive conclusions based on the data currently available. And NINS second this, saying that quality sleep is essential, and without sleep, you can't do all the things that I just mentioned. I clearly double copied some things. But listen, guys, all sleep is not equal, and its impact on our health can vary depending on the circumstances. So while various studies have revealed that sleep plays a very necessary role in keeping humans healthy and is vital for adequate brain function, there's still many questions about sleep and its association with the brain that remain unanswered. Outside of the big question around why we sleep, there are many mysteries about how we sleep. What are the brain centers involved in initiation, maintenance, and termination of sleep? What are the brain chemicals involved in this? How does the brain switch from rapid eye movement to non-REM sleep? And, of course, the only way to solve these puzzles is to conduct more research. And I'll be right here to tell you all about it once they do. So there you go. My favorite part about this is how your brain washes itself. Gross. And a juicy blend of cerebrospinal fluid and blood. I sleep a lot. I love naps. I go to sleep almost immediately when I go to bed. My brain must be sparkling clean. One could only hope. How about you out there? How do you all sleep? How long does it take you on average to fall asleep at night? Philip says his purge is like RAM memory. Because I don't know. For me, and I've been told that this is unusual, but I can lay my head down and be asleep in 30 seconds. And not even like just at night. Even if I just want to take a nap, I can go into like crazy dreamland sleep in minutes. It's unbelievable. Definitely one of my best party tricks. And it's incredibly helpful. But how long does it usually take you guys to fall asleep? I'd love to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Cindy tuning in over there on Facebook. Hi, Cindy. Good morning. Just taking a peek at everything. Got some local news. I found this pretty interesting. There wasn't a lot going on, you guys. I scoured news and really was came up short on a lot of stuff. But the South Florida drought is bad for some, but it's been really good for the St. Lucie River in Stewart, and I'm going to tell you why. By nearly all metrics, the health of the St. Lucie River has improved recently. It's been over a year since excess Lake Okeechobee water has been released into the river. That's a big deal here. Seagrasses are growing slowly but surely near the inlet. Oyster populations are bouncing back. And now another unlikely benefit to the often embattled St. Lucie River is starting to take shape, and that is the drought. Parts of all three Treasure Coast counties are experiencing a moderate drought after months of abnormally dry conditions during what's usually Florida's summer wet season. 4 other Florida counties are also experiencing drought. Brevard, Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. Miami-Dade, sorry. Oh, can't call it Dade County anymore. While drought can lower water levels and raise concerns about water supply for drinking and crop irrigation, the St. Lucie River is reaping the benefits. According to David Zierden, a climatologist with the Florida Climate Center. Sounds like a good place for him to work. He said droughts has its benefits, like clear coastal waters, less nutrient runoff, and lower likelihood of harmful algae blooms. He said the amount of nutrient runoff is directly related to the amount of rainfall. So if you have a drier spell, you get less runoff from rainfall, which carries those nutrients into the system. There is rain in the forecast, however, and the conditions may not last. The National Weather Service in Melbourne predicted up to 3 inches of rain in parts of east central Florida. But there have been no Lake O discharges since 2021. And if you think the water's looked gorgeous lately, you'd be absolutely right. Aerial images showed crystalline water at Sailfish Flats and budding seagrass meadows at the sandbar between Sewell's Point and Hutchinson Island in late August. Lack rainfall paired with no Lake O discharge has given seagrass a chance to recover, according to Indian Riverkeeper Jim Moore. The last significant Lake O discharge event was in March and April of 2021 when at least 10 billion gallons passed through the St. Lucie Lock and Dam. Doesn't include one-offs like the Army Corps of Engineers briefly discharged water in April 2021 for a sediment research study. The St. Lucie Lock and Dam underwent maintenance, according to agency spokesperson Jim Yoakum. Last month, the peak of the rainy season, about 1.3 billion gallons of stormwater runoff entered the estuary, which is about 10% of the total over the past year, according to the latest South Florida Water Management District data. Of course, pales in comparison to the worst of Lake O discharges when we well over 1 billion gallons a day can flow into the river. Less runoff lately stems from less rain, of course. In August, only 2.5 inches fell over Stewart compared to the typical 8 inches for that month. So no discharges combined with less rainfall flowing from the C-44 canal and into the river has given residents a chance to experience the river as a snapshot of what it historically was. Water quality earned a passing 87% on the Florida Oceanographic Society's weekly report as of September 7th. The FOS reported ideal conditions of 92% or higher in the Middle River Inlet area, North Folk, Manatee Pocket, Intracoastal Waterway, and the Indian River Lagoon. Sanskrit and Layton Parks had little to no fecal bacteria. Excellent. And oysters were spitting at Flagler Park earlier this week. And oysters, of course, would shut their shells. Water tends to shoot out, which is a good sign that they are healthy. FOS Executive Director Mark Perry said things are looking good. We haven't had any releases from the lake, so all the releases have been from local basin runoffs, which has been minimal because of the little rainfall. That makes conditions really good. You just got to give the river time. And it doesn't appear that Lake-O discharges will be pouring into the river anytime soon. Lower than normal rainfall, Lake-O's elevation above sea level was 12 feet 6 inches. And that's about 2 feet 2.5 inches lower than this time last year, and almost 2 feet lower than the 42-year average between 1965 and 2007, according to an analysis of core data. The Corps announced Friday it's stopping western Lake-O releases to the Caloosahatchee River, according to Colonel James Booth. Lake-O's level surpassed the water shortage benchmark this week. The Water Shortage Management Band is a reference point for water managers to consider if water restrictions are necessary. Another key indicator that the St. Lucie River is rebounding from Lake-O freshwater discharges is the saltiness of the water. And the sweet spot for oysters to thrive. If the water's too salty or too fresh, it can kill the bivalves. Anything less than 10 parts per thousand salinity can slow oyster growth. The St. Lucie River's salinity has been in the optimum good range between 10 and 25 since at least July 1st, he said. That's given oysters over 2 months of uninterrupted opportunity for growth. Oysters are one of nature's best filters. In fact, one adult oyster can remove pollutants at a rate of 50 gallons per day. The St. Lucie is one of those areas where the lack of rainfall has been okay. For the oysters, we've had a tremendous year so far. There you go. We'll all be thirsty, but the river will thrive. What are you going to do? I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, a miracle baby was born in Columbus. I'm going to tell you all about it when we come back. You're listening to Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Hey, hit that subscribe and like button. We'll be right back. Here's one from Erewhon. Throw it down.
True, oh, not true. could prove, oh, to prove. I'd show you loving, oh yeah, like you never knew, never knew. You take my love away and you throw it down again, down again. You take my soul away, oh, I love you, nothing I can do, down
We're back. Jams and Coffee in the morning. Thanks for tuning in with me. Check it out, you guys. A miracle baby was born in Columbus. Might not be what you think. The Columbus Zoo has welcomed a long-legged endangered new addition, a baby Maasai giraffe. The unnamed newborn was born to 12-year-old mother Zuri on August 31st, according to a news release from the zoo. Not only is the calf fiercely cute, his birth is especially significant as it marks an important achievement for the future of this endangered species, according to the zoo. After a few failed attempts, the baby boy was able to stand up, take a few steps, and nurse shortly after the birth. The day after his birth, zoo staff conducted a wellness exam and confirmed the calf is healthy. Maasai giraffes are listed as endangered by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature. And there are around 35,000 of the subspecies left in Tanzania and Kenya. Their population is on the decline due to illegal hunting and the destruction of their habitat, says the organization. The baby's parents, Zuri and Enzi, were paired through the Species Survival Plan, program coordinated by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, to ensure endangered species maintain genetic diversity. The calf's father was euthanized in 2021 due to a chronic illness, unfortunately. The newborn has been a long time coming. The giraffes gestate for a whopping 15 months. The miracle baby is the 23rd giraffe born at the Columbus Zoo, he said in a statement. We are heartbroken to lose Enzi, and this calf is such an amazing gift to us and to the future of all Maasai giraffes. That's Shannon Borders, curator of the Columbus Zoo's Heart of Africa region. This little one is truly our miracle baby, and it warms our hearts that Enzi's legacy continues to live on and to have such a positive impact. The calf's birth is just one part of the zoo's effort to improve the Maasai giraffe population. From our successful giraffe breeding program, contributions to field conservation projects, and leadership in animal health initiatives benefiting giraffes, are fully committed to making a difference for Maasai giraffes and other species that rely on their place in nature. Guests won't be able to see the mother and baby just yet, but the rest of the giraffe herd are still on display there at the Columbus Zoo. So, congratulations. Some interesting music news today. I thought this was interesting. So Ozzy Osbourne's new album, Patient Number 9, is officially here. And the rock icon opened up about the project and more during an interview with Rock 95.5's Klinger on iHeartRadio. Patient Number 9 is Ozzy's 13th solo album, following 2020's Ordinary Man, and showcases 13 new songs, including guest appearances from artists like Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, Tony Iommi, Dave DeMauro, and more. While the record was produced by Andrew Watt, other musicians featured as performers on the new album include Foo Fighters' Taylor Hawkins, Red Hot Chili Peppers' Chad Smith, Josh Homme, among others. Osbourne says that working on Patient Number 9 is what kept him going during the pandemic, and it was Watt who suggested working with some of the featured artists. He explained to Klinger, "I was never one to do these all-star albums. Andrew talked me into it. It turned out really good." Jeff Beck is featured on 1,000 Shades, and his guitar solo is one Ozzy can never forget. He said, "Every morning I wake up with that guitar solo in my head. It's really catchy. And yeah, I was told I can't write songs. He can play other people's songs, but he can't write for some reason. I kind of find that weird. How could somebody play so great and not be able to write a song?" Oh, poor Jeff Beck. Since having major surgery on his neck, many of Ozzy's fellow rockers have been reaching out to him, which has made him feel supported by his friends. He explained, "Since I've had my surgery, I've been recuperating from that. Tony Iommi has been contacting me regularly by text. Slash has been keeping me going. Jonathan from Korn has been, you'll be surprised what a phone or text message will do. I was pretty miserable for a few months, and it lifted me up a little." Ozzy also reunited with Black Sabbath bandmate Tony Iommi for a few songs on Patient Number 9, No Escape From Now, and Degradation Rules. Osbourne said of rocking out with Iommi again for the first time on a solo album, "Tony, in all the years I've known him since I was 11. And in all the years I've known him, I've never had such a close relationship with him." He added, "We've both sort of been through the wars a bit, and the funniest thing, every member of Black Sabbath is still alive. We're all still alive." And as for Ozzy fans, they want to see the rocker back out on the road again, and he has full intentions to do so, he explained. He said, "That's what I'm heading for, because I'm hoping we're still well enough to tour. As soon as I finish this album promotion, I'm hoping," he said, "I'm doing an NFL thing tomorrow night in Los Angeles, opening up the season, and I'm down to get in some physical exercising and going all out to get myself back on my feet. It's just a bit stiff and it's awkward right now." He said, "I had 2 more surgeries. The first one, the guy screwed me up, and I don't think I'll be 100% to the way I would be. I haven't got the confidence. I lose my balance, so I got to get my confidence up, and I'll do it." He said, "I've overcome drug addiction and alcohol addiction and tobacco. I'm sure if I give it a good effort, we'll get it going. I need it, I need to get back on the stage," he said. He also added, "What am I going to do, sit on my ass all day looking out the window? That's not Ozzy Osbourne, man. It never will be. People say to me, when do you think you're going to retire? And I go, well, when I start to smell the lid of the pine box. He said, I mean, you can't retire from this. It's your passion. How can you retire from having fun? And to pickle back off of the Ozzy opening the NFL season in one of the most ridiculous things ever. Was it on NBC? So Ozzy Osbourne performed live for just the second time in 3 years during the halftime show of the NFL season opener on Thursday night. But anyone who tuned into the Rams versus Bills game so they could catch the two-song set were in for a major disappointment. After airing about 10 seconds of Ozzy performing the title track off his just-released album, Patient Number 9, NBC cut back to broadcasters discussing the game. Understandably, Ozzy fans were not happy, and they aired their outrage on Twitter. Check that out. Yeah, could you imagine? And it's not like they didn't promote it. They promoted that Ozzy was performing for the season opener, and they went back to the broadcaster studio. Seems like a wasted opportunity. Keep at it, NBC. God, you're killing the game. What are you going to do? We got some celebrity birthdays today, in case y'all were wondering. Andrew Scott tuning in on Facebook. He said, not only are you a man of many talents, but also seem to be an expert on giraffes. Yes. Giraffologist. That's what they call me in my day job. Thought you'd like to know. Celebrity birthdays today. Paul Walker sadly passed away in 2013 at only 40 years old. But he would have been celebrating his 49th birthday today. Of course, he's the actor who won the 2001 Hollywood Breakthrough Award for New Male Style Maker for his performance as Brian O'Connor in The Fast and Furious. He reprised his role in 6 Fast and Furious sequels and also played prominent roles in the films Varsity Blues, Pleasantville, and The Lazarus Project. He tragically died in a car crash in November of 2013 in Santa Clarita, California. Turning 36 years old today, film and television actress who became known as Fiona Gallagher on the Showtime series Shameless, Emmy Rossum, celebrating her 36th birthday today. She was nominated for an MTV Movie Award for Best Breakthrough Performance for her role in The Day After Tomorrow, and also appeared in Mystic River and The Phantom of the Opera. Country singer Kelsey Ballerini is turning 29 years old today. Notable for her single Love Me Like You Mean It, which rose to a top 30 position in the U.S. country charts. She was named one of Country Music Television's Next Women of Country back in 2014, and she certainly lived up to that. Southern-influenced rapper 2 Chainz, turning 45 years old today. His debut album, based on a true story, reached number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200 in 2012. His second album, Boats 2, Me Time, debuted at number 3 on the U.S. Billboard 200 in September of 2013. 2 Chainz. Recording artist who was a finalist on the 3rd season of American Idol, Jennifer Hudson, turning 41 years old today. Of course, she then transitioned into acting and won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her role as Effie White in the 2006 film Dreamgirls. The super tall center who was the first overall pick of the 2002 NBA draft, Yao Ming, turning 42 years old today and standing at a whopping 7 foot 6 inches tall. He was named an NBA All-Star during all 8 seasons that he played in the NBA with the Houston Rockets. He was forced to retire in 2011 after numerous foot and ankle injuries. 7 foot 6. I couldn't even imagine. That's almost 3 foot taller than me. Oh, geez. A step stool. I couldn't even get face to face with him. Turning 44 years old today, Benjamin McKenzie, best known for his role as the hard-pressed teen Ryan Atwood on the television show The O.C., and later for his role of Ben Sherman on TNT's cop drama Southland. He's also cast as James Gordon on the Fox series Gotham. Happy birthday, Benjamin. He would have been 70 years old today, but he sadly passed away back in 2020. Neil Peart, legendary musician known, of course, for being the drummer and lyricist of the rock band Rush. Today is his birthday. He was inducted into the Modern Drummer Magazine Hall of Fame in 1983. So, huge loss to the music world. So, happy heavenly birthday, Neil Peart. Turning 48 years old today, American Grammy-winning country music artist Jennifer Nettles, also, of course, known as the lead vocalist with the duo Sugarland. He had the 2009 #1 album, Live on the Inside. Happy birthday, Jennifer. And turning 56, which is crazy to think about, but Ben Folds. Of course, he's the singer-songwriter, keyboard player from the American alternative rock band, or rock trio, the Ben Folds Five. Interesting enough, the Ben Folds Five is only a trio. Their single Brick from the 1997 album Whatever and Ever Amen gained airplay on many mainstream radio stations, and Folds went on to pursue a very successful solo career. So happy birthday, celebrities. If I missed one, feel free to put it in the chats and comments. If you want to berate me vocally, you can give me a call on the JNC hotline at 772-888-1596. That'll get you on the air. Paul asks if I'm at Blue Point tonight. I am at Blue Point tonight. We'll be there 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock tonight, weather permitting, God willing. It'll be good. It'll be good. I guess we got to get into the top 10, and I got a couple shameless plugs for you, and then I'll get you on with your day. Let's take a look here. What do I have for you today? Oh, it's a good one. Philip, I'll believe it when I see it. He said he's going to call in one of these days. Believe it when I see it. Check it out, you guys. These days, toy makers are held to a stringent safety standard thanks to the ASTM F963 Standard Consumer Safety Specifications for Toy Safety. U.S. toy makers must follow extensive rules and regulations. But as many of us know, of a certain age, this wasn't always the case. Before the government protected kids from things such as figurines covered with lead paint, older generations were handed some of the wild toys and told to go outside and play. And this list presents 10 toys that prove your grandparents were from a tougher age in history. Here we go, the JNC Top 10. All right, you guys ready? Number 10 on the list. All the way back in 1959, Mattel gave the world a toy gun that didn't need hands to work. Hands-free everything, baby. The belt-buckle Derringer toy gun could be fired in the usual way while holding it, or if you found yourself in a position where you needed to fire a gun while your hands were otherwise occupied, you were in luck. This gun could be attached to a belt buckle and fired when the wearer thrusts their hips forward. What could possibly go wrong with small boys running around with toy cap guns attached to their waist and fired plastic bullets when they waggled their hips? Well, as you might imagine, the gun sometimes went off at unintended times and in unintended directions. Although most likely the intended times the guns fired must have resulted in enough mayhem on their own. Number 9 on the list. If you've ever woken up in the morning and you have a young daughter as a child, a thought you may never had is, I wish my young daughter had a kit to shape and form molten glass. However, somebody must have had this thought at some point because a real glass-blowing set for children used to exist. The A.C. Gilbert Company, which is now out of business, was known for its erector, trains, and chemistry sets. Standard kids fare, to be sure. However, in the 1920s, A.C. Gilbert offered something special, a working glass-blowing set. Known as the Experimental Glass-Blowing Kit for Boys. The kit contained a blowtorch for heating glass until it was malleable, tubes for blowing into and shaping the glass, and a book of fun experiments in which children were instructed to hold the heated glass in their hands. For the record, for glass to get hot enough to shape, it has to be heated to at least 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm sure that went over really well. Number 8 on this list, toy guns were popular back in the day, no doubt, but the Austin Magic Pistol was a special one that looked like it came straight from outer space. So a gun from the 1940s had a futuristic look and launched ping pong balls. That sounds pretty harmless, right? Well, not so harmless when you discover that the ping pong ball was fired using an explosive chemical reaction created by calcium carbide and water. You simply mix the water and the provided magic crystals. You load the gun and you're all set. However, the magic crystals turned out to be calcium carbide, a hazardous substance that turns into a highly flammable gas when water hits it. Each time the Austin Magic Pistol was fired, an explosion occurred in the back of the gun. How our grandparents survived gun shooting ping pong balls launched by chemical explosions, we'll never know. Number 7 on our list. They may have been dangerous, but this entry must have been a blast for kids to create. In 1964, Mattel introduced the Thing Maker. It was so wildly popular, they released 15 different sets. The set the internet seems to have the most nostalgia for is the Creepy Crawlers. The Thing Maker had an oven with an internal heating element that reached 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The things were made by squirting a chemical Mattel called Plastigoop into the die-cast metal molds and heating them. However, by 1973, toy safety regulations had become a bit tougher, and the Thing Maker, which heated to high temperatures and used a chemical fluid that gave off fumes, disappeared from store shelves. In an attempt to revive the beloved toy, Mattel recently tested a version using a 3D printer, but sadly never came to market. Darn. Number 6. This entry was marketed for kids who wanted a sixth finger that both wrote and fired a variety of objects, including bombs, missiles, and messages. Created by Topper Toys, it didn't have the most attractive design, but kids could wear the toy for fun, because what's not fun about another finger on your hand? And the TV commercial even asked how we got along with only 5. Designed in the 1960s by Deluxe Reading, a toy manufacturer based in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Produced toys under several brand names, including Topper Toys. On their own, the things the six finger does are not super impressive. Anyone can use a pen, right? Or play with a cap gun or other toy gun, but combine this with a weird-looking extra finger held between the thumb and the forefinger, and it's a winner-winner chicken dinner, huh? Bizarro. Number 5 here on this list. Mattel's at it again here. Mattel's Sonic Blaster Bazooka gun was what every secret agent wannabe needed in their life. It's a 34-inch long blaster that shot hand-pumped compressed air at such high decibels it caused lifelong hearing damage. Holy cow. You can still see the vintage ad on YouTube today. The commercial features a young Kurt Russell walking wearily through a black and white world where he must fire his weapon at piles of leaves and wind chimes to survive. If you're thinking, what stopped children from shoving things like dirt and rocks into the blaster and launching them into the air? Well, nothing stopped children from doing that. It's exactly the sort of thing that children will do. And this, aside from the hearing damage, is one more reason why you can't buy anything like the Zero M Sonic Blaster for today's sheltered children. Right? And now I want to get my hands on one of these things. Number 4 on the list. Like many toys from the 60s and 70s, clackers were simple. 2 balls were attached to a string, and a child would smack together to make a loud and pleasing, at least to the child, sound. Banging 2 balls together doesn't sound so bad. However, the original clacker balls were made of glass. What do you think might happen when a small child wildly and violently bangs glass balls together? Well, as you might expect, the glass shattered, sending dangerous shards in all directions. The Food and Drug Administration banned the toys in 1971, leading Sarah Slobin from Quartz to pen a piece where she argues the outcry over the clackers may have been responsible for sowing the seeds for the helicopter parenting style of today. Number 3 on our list. In the 1950s, the Zulu blowgun was a favorite among children, allowing them to blow into the gun and launch foam pellets at each other. The problem is when a child sucked in deeply to be able to blow out and launch the gun again, they sometimes sucked in with their gun to their mouth, launching the pellet directly down their throat rather than into the air. Now, blow dart toys are still available today, but modern children are protected from inhaling foam into their lungs by the use of one-way mouthpieces. Seems like a no-brainer, but, you know. This one was always a fun one. I see this pop up a lot. Number 2 on our list. It's a tough individual indeed who spent their toddlerhood suspended at a 10-story high-rise window inside a metal wire cage. Baby cages were around mainly from the 1920s to the 1950s, and their purpose was to give parents living in small city apartments a chance to provide their children with some fresh air and sunshine. Interest in baby cages, which were invented by Emma Reed in 1922, most likely stemmed from the 1884 book, The Care and Feeding of Children. In this book, a section labeled Airing recommended that children get fresh air regularly. Amazingly enough, there don't seem to be any accidents or deaths from baby cages, but you certainly won't see any babies suspended from high-rise apartments today. And number 1 on our top 10 list today. Although many of the items on this list are in the category of so-called traditional boys' toys, don't let that lead you to believe that the conventional girls' toys were any less dangerous. The glass-blowing kit may have been deemed for boys, but the Empire Little Lady stove had exposed burners that could reach exceedingly high temperatures of up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Proving the girls of this era were just as hardcore. The Empire Little Lady stove was a victim of the first federal safety standard for toys. And in 1969, the toy was banned by the National Commission on Product Safety. Clearly the predecessor to the Easy Bake Oven. I'm sure that some of you had out there growing up. But yeah, some of these toys, we've definitely come a long way. What a time. Philip says he misses lawn darts. And listen, guys, I'm all for, all for toys like that. Lawn darts was dangerous. Like, really dangerous to be out there. And you're just, launching, like, huge spears into the air. Might as well take a bow and arrow and shoot the arrow straight up in the air and then disperse, hoping it doesn't come back down and hit you. Lawn darts. I'm amazed that didn't make it on this list. There's a lot of stuff. Even today, though, some toys come out today, and I'm it's crazy to me that they exist. Well, they've come a long way. It's better now. Allegedly. Oh, man. Let's see. Let's check the comments one more time, see what's going on. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here. I really do and truly do appreciate it. Got a long week here. I hope that it kicked off right. A couple shameless plugs. Again, I'll be at Blue Point tonight from 6 to 9. Check out last week's Hop Life Jams and Cocktails podcast. I believe that Paul's got a Drums and Rums podcast dropping tomorrow. And, subscribe, like, do all the things. But most importantly, enjoy your Monday. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m., right here on Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Cheers.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news, and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.